I believe the essential debate in America is the debate between the written word, the recorded word, and the oral tradition of Native Americans. And as academic or anyone who's gone through a formal education system for any length of time, we put such heavy emphasis on the written word. In other words, it has to be on paper, it has to be in a book, or it isn't true. And consequently, if it's in a book and it's unwritten, we will believe the utter nonsense. We will believe total lies. We will accept anything under the guise that it's written, it must be true. And consequently, when we come to oral traditions of tribes, the normal academic, formally educated American is always suspicious. Oh, these are myths. These are legends. These are fairy tales. And I think Native Americans are put off by having stories attributed to them or their origin, I call them their origin stories, to be called a myth or a legend or a fairy tale, or put it in the category of made up stories. And consequently, we're now finding in the last 5 years this terrific parallel as archaeology finally begins to embrace the oral tradition of tribes. The archaeologist was out there picking up things and going, wow, this is 12,000 years old. Oh my gosh, this is 8,000 years old. They never once said, where did it come from? How did it get here? What were they doing with it? What was going on while this object found its way here? They never looked at the human qualities of life that were going on. They say, oh, this was a campsite. Well, was it one of 1,000? Was it one of 10,000? What was going on in the landscape around this particular campsite that they're meticulously taking apart? And once they begin to see that this world of this campsite is connected to this large landscape of human life out there for thousands of years, and then they start putting some meaning into these small artifacts, and they say, oh, I see, this is part of the oral tradition. And you can go into tribal oral tradition and extract stories and other factual materials that coincide precisely with the archaeological record. And yet we have no problem accepting the archaeological record, but we do have a problem with the oral tradition. That is changing today. And I believe that in the coming years, we'll see a great deal of information revealed because of this closer connection between science and the oral tradition of Native Americans.